spread my wings and hope that I can fly. And maybe I'll land on the ground, and maybe I fall, and maybe I bump my head along the way. But I'm telling you, I'm going to push myself. I'm going to push myself like I never have before to become the most amazing version of me that I can possibly be. Do you understand? I'm not leaving to go work at any other dealership. My plans moving forward are this. I'll break them down to everybody that's curious, everybody that's asked, everybody that's wondering. Here's my plans. I'm going to spend more time with my family, number one. I'm going to spend more time with my family. Now, I understand I'm going to have to grind. I got to work, right? And I'm going to have to travel, but I'm going to bring my family with me. God made my wife a homeschooling teacher so that we don't have to fall into the confines of public school. I am going to spend more time with my family, period. Number one, that's first and foremost. My son and I are going to throw footballs. My daughter and I are going to swing golf clubs. I'm going to spend more time with my kids, first and foremost. I'm going to create a life around them that includes them. Does that make sense? That's first and foremost. Secondly, I am going to dive into my writing. I love to write. I'm going to dive into my writing. I've got a couple books that I've written. I'm going to dive into those. I'm going to push those out even further. I'm going to dive into my writing. I'm going to continue to help eradicate the negative stigmas with the auto industry. I don't know exactly what that looks like. I will continue to help. I'm passionate about this industry. I'm passionate about the people in it. So I will continue to do that in whatever facets God shows me as far as that goes. And I will make Rise and Grind, hashtag Rise and Grind, will be the number one most watched morning show in the world. I promise you that.
Good morning and welcome to hashtag Rise and Grind. I am your host, Glenn Lundy. I am a husband to one, a father to seven, and the creator of what is going to be the number one most watched morning show in the world. It is 5:30 a.m. and I hope that you are ready to rise and grind.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you, my friend? How are you, my friend? Today is Tuesday, October 15th, 2019. That's right, it's Tuesday, October 15th, 2019. And what's crazy is today is the very first and the very last time it will ever be Tuesday, October 15th, 2019. So I want to make sure we make the absolute most. That's right. Let's make the absolute most of this absolutely incredible day. I want you to imagine for just a moment. Imagine that you moved into a new town to get a new start. You moved into a brand new town where nobody knew your name so that you could start over in life. And then I want you to imagine that you got this opportunity. You got an opportunity to work for a small company. It was family owned. It was up and coming. And you got an opportunity to work for this company at the base level. And imagine that you went all in. You went all in with that company. And over time, you were able to move up through the ranks. You ultimately made it to the very top where you had an opportunity to not only lead the store, not only lead this business that you jumped into, but you were able to help this business that you were a part of grow to where it became the number 2 largest used car volume dealership in the country. And at one point was ranked number 22 out of all Chevy dealers. Imagine you had that opportunity to be a part of that. Imagine that you had job security and every day at work was fun. You really loved your job and you were making 1% money, like more money than 99% of the United States. Imagine that you had built your team, your culture. It was completely filled with wins. It was your pond and you were the biggest fish. Now, I also want you to imagine that while you're building all of that, while you've taken this opportunity, gone all in with it and grown it gone as far as you could possibly go. Imagine meanwhile, during that period of time, you have 6 kids. You have 6 kids. You have this new hashtag Lundy limo that you had to buy that could fit all of the kids. And of course, you have plenty of bills, because when you have lots of kids, you have lots of bills. So you have plenty of bills. You have 6 kids. Your wife actually has another kid. She has another baby that's on the way. And I just want you to imagine that was your situation. Now imagine in the midst of all of that, you found a way. You'd never done it before, but in the midst of all of that, you were able to take 10 days off. Took 10 days off of work for the first time in your career. And during those 10 days, you spent time at this thing called Hustle and Grind Con. You spent time at Hustle and Grind Con, and you spent time with amazing people from all over the world, including one of your heroes, Mr. Eric Thomas, including some of your other heroes like Danelle Delgado. You spent time with people like Sean Hayes and people from the Carter Myers Automotive Group. And just imagine, yeah, this group right here, that's right. I love these people, by the way. You hear me talk about them all the time. It's because I love them. But I want you to just imagine that you spent 10 days off, and you went to this amazing conference. And then on top of that, you went to a men's retreat. As soon as you got back from the conference, you spent a couple days with the family, right? A couple days with these amazing people right here. And then after spending a couple days with them, you went to a men's retreat, and you learned something powerful. You learned that Jesus, this historical figure, you learned that he wasn't a punk. He wasn't a punk that sat back comfortably, but he was actually a warrior. A warrior who went out there and fought for what he believed in, that did the things that were uncomfortable, that challenged the status quo. Imagine that was your situation. Life was good. Life was comfortable. And then imagine after those 10 days, you walked into work, where you're the alpha, you're the beast. You walked into your job, and then an hour and a half later, you quit. I did just that 1 year ago today. 1 year ago today, I quit my job at Dan Cummins Chevrolet and Buick in Paris, Kentucky. And I'm going to talk to you about why I did that. I'm also going to share with you what I've learned since I made that decision exactly 1 year ago today. But first, before we do, let's dance. For those of you that know, and those of you that don't know, this is the part of the show where I need you to tell your friends. This is the part of the show where I need you to maybe say, hey, you should come check this out. It's a pretty cool deal. I'm trying to avoid certain words that Facebook doesn't like, if you haven't been able to figure that out. This is also the part of the show where I want to say good morning to you, and I want you to say good morning to me. Whether you're watching live or you're watching on replay, say what's up. I'll say what's up back. Good morning, Carter Myers. How are you, sir? What's up, Liza Myers, Borch? It's Scott Simons. I got the whole crew from Carter Myers Automotive up in here. What's up, Emily Goffler, Jennifer Jaskell, Denny Rust? What's up, Scott Holbert, Valerie Christine? How you doing, Nathaniel Banks, Brad Smith, Tracy Shepard, Mike Higdon, Sam Sneed? What's up, Sam Sneed? How are you, sir? What's up? Casey Rossiter's in the house. My man, Jeremy Nolan. Bro, I love this shirt. As a matter of fact, we stole the design idea. Bam! I'm not even supposed to show you that yet, but pow! It's there. My man, Jeremy Nolan. What's up, Amy Myers, Whitney Wells, Dana Fishbein, Melissa Young Klein, Sarah Ball, Gail B. Craft. What's up, Angela Venters Heath, Terry LaPierre. How you doing, Josh? What's up, Jeff Baker, George Fleming, Tracy Shepard, Jesse Ican, Sparkman, John Coltonborn, CC Eberly, Bruce Pulver, Becky Buckholtz. That's right. What's up, Megan DiMartino? What's up, Whitney Wells? Rick Berman's up in here. Everybody's up in here on hashtag Rise and Grind, including my friend Vicky Everett. And I'm assuming Pam, if she's not on here now, will be as well. And I believe Susan, my other twin sister, will be here as well. I love this show. In case you didn't know. Hey, check it out. Today in the planner, this guy right here, he's got a quote right here in the top. Today is Tuesday, October 15th, and the quote reads, and I quote, the quote reads, "The most successful people are those who are good at plan B." That's by James York. The most successful people are those who are good at plan B. Now, you see, when I quit my job a year ago today, I did not have one of those. I did not have a plan B whatsoever. But right after I quit, this planner right here, this planner was the very first thing that I built. As soon as I quit, I was like, what does this, because we had this incredible thing, right? I had been going live from my utility closet, this little tiny area where I had been going live, my previous studio, and it was kind of taking the world by storm. We had 17,000 members and growing at that point. There were some news articles and things going on. I had been on the news a couple times. And so I was like, what does this incredible group need? These group of people, how can I help them best? And how can I serve them? And it was like, well, we need a planner. We need a place to do our morning five. We need a place to write down all of our gratitude and goals. We need a place to keep track of things. We need different motivational quotes that are on the top so that we can be inspired every single day. And so what I didn't realize when I made that planner, I didn't realize that it was going to completely change my life. And I didn't realize that it was going to completely change the lives of thousands of people around the country. I had no idea that it was going to affect your life the way that it has. And so when getting all of the quotes together at the top, one thing I had to do is obviously we had to come up with, 300 and however many quotes for each of the pages. And so I was trying to come together with quotes. And one of the things that I did is I asked you to contribute and to participate. I asked you to submit your favorite quote or your Bible verse, and that we could use those in the planner so that we could build this thing together, right? That we could do it all together. It wasn't just me making something, but it was something we could do together. And ultimately that was effective, and it changed a lot of people's lives. And the reason that I'm telling you about this again is because we are going to do this again. We're going to do this again right now. It starts today. I'm going to ask for your help. I need your quotes. I need your favorite Bible verses. See, we're doing a couple things different this year. The Rise and Grind Planner, one of the things we noticed is the cover. The cover needed to be a little bit stronger, so we're making a harder cover. We're also doing a little something different with the binding this year on the planner. We're also making a couple different colors. There's going to be a couple different colors of the planner. Some of my ladies said they'd prefer something not so masculine. So we're doing a couple different colors, but we're going to stick, and we're adding a month at a glance, right? We did week at a glance, but we're adding month at a glance, making some other changes, small modifications based on what you guys have told me. But before I can print anything, before I can create anything, they're not coming out until Black Friday. But before I can do that, I need your help. I need your quotes. I need your favorite verses, so on and so forth. So if at some point in today or soon, if you'll go to riseandgrindplanner.com, riseandgrindplanner.com, and just submit your favorite motivational quote, just submit your favorite Bible verse. If you would do that, that would be really helpful for me so that we can build your planner again for 2020. Now, for you going out of your way to help me, I also want to help you. So when you do go to riseandgrindplanner.com, you will have an opportunity to buy your 2020 planner at 20% off. That's right. If you submit a quote or you submit a Bible verse, which may be used in the planner in 2020, when you do that at riseandgrindplanner.com, you can go ahead and get 20% off of next year's planner right now. For those of you that know, that's a big deal. We did not discount last year's planners until June. We were selling them consistently and steadily, $50 a pop until June. And so here's your opportunity. You can save 20% off your planner just by submitting. All you got to do is submit your favorite motivational quote, submit a Bible verse, and you can go ahead and order those now. Liza, go ahead and get them all ordered for your entire team over there at Carter Myers. It'll save you especially, it's going to save a lot at 20% off of the Rise and Grind planners. But that planner changed my life, man. You guys and that planner changed my life. And so I remember that, I remember quitting my job. I remember walking into the house. I remember telling my wife, who was 9 months pregnant, that I had quit my job. And I remember it was like it was yesterday. My wife was walking out into the garage. I am pulling up at like 9:30 a.m. on a Monday after being off for 10 days. And she's like, "What the heck are you doing here?" And I told her that I quit my job. And my wife, who I thought was going to panic and freak out, obviously, but my wife instead had the biggest smile on her face that I've ever seen in my entire life. She had the biggest smile I had ever seen in our entire relationship. She just grinned ear to ear, and that's where I found some peace, right? Because obviously, after you're somewhere for 8 years, right, you build this empire, you pour everything into it. I mean, I poured everything into it. I sacrificed everything for that company. I loved every single day that I was at work. I loved every single day. I was so passionate about it. I got up at 4:30 in the morning. Back then, I used to sleep in, right? Back then, I used to sleep in and get up at 4:30 in the morning. I'd get up at 4:30 in the morning. I'd go work out. I'd go do my stuff in the morning, do the Rise and Grind show. And then I'd go to work and I'd be there till 9, 10 o'clock at night. And I loved every minute of it. Of course, there were stressful days. Of course, there were character building days. But there was never a bad day. Never a single bad day in the 8 years that I worked there. And so it was nerve-wracking to have quit my job. It was nerve-wracking. And so I was afraid of what my wife was going to say. And ultimately, she gave me the biggest smile ever. And I'll remember that moment because that's when I had peace. So I was going back and I was listening to the video. That's what I showed at the very beginning of this episode. If you missed it,
Spread
I
my
showed a
wings
little
and
clip
hope that I can
from
fly.
when
And
I
maybe
did
I'll
quit
land.
my job. So I showed that little clip at the very beginning that I had to make. And that's because I immediately went to Vegas. Very first thing I did, I'm like, "Honey, I quit my job." She's like, "What?" I'm like, "Yes, I'm going to spend more time with the family. I'm going to commit more to growing Rise and Grind. I am still going to eradicate negative stigmas associated with the car business. Don't know what that looks like," so on and so forth. And then I said, "Honey, I'm going to Vegas." And I hopped on a plane and I went to Las Vegas. Could you imagine? Imagine being this woman right here with all of these kids. Your husband walks in the door. He tells you that he just quit his career, his long-term job where he's built it all the way up. You guys are making 1% money. Life is good. Your husband walks in and says, "I'm quitting my job and I'm going to Las Vegas." Just imagine. That poor woman, what I put her through. But that's what I did. And I went to Las Vegas, and that's the first thing. I'm going to teach you 5 things. There's 5 things that I've learned over the past year in this whole situation. I want to share those with you this morning so you can have some takeaways too as I reminisce. I've been reminiscing all week. It's been crazy. I'm excited. This is a milestone. 1 year. They say that 50% of businesses go out of business in the first year. So here's year 1. We're still here. We're still rocking and rolling. And we're actually getting better because we're getting ready to release some things on Black Friday that are huge. We got the 800% club that we're putting together with some dealers, which is huge. So we're thriving, which is good. Year 1, milestone. Great. But we have to go back. We have to look. We have to learn. We have to learn from our lessons and make sure we're still on track, right? Make sure we're still doing the things that we originally designed to do. So very first thing is I went to Las Vegas. And so this is your first note. Mike Brockway, if you're here, take notes. You must put yourself in a position for magic to happen. You see, when I first quit my job, I realized that a couple days later, there was an event going on in Las Vegas. It was the NADA event, which is an event where thousands of dealers converge. Thousands of dealers converge over a few days, and there's vendors, and there's talks, and there's strategies, and what's going on in the auto industry, so on and so forth. And so I realized in that moment, as I had just quit my job with no plan B, I did not know exactly what I was going to be doing. I just knew I wanted to spend more time with my family. I knew that I was going to grow, Rise and Grind. I knew that I was going to help eradicate negative stigmas in the auto industry. And I knew I was going to do it on my terms that fit my family best. Those are the only things I knew, but I didn't really have a map. And so I had to go to Las Vegas in NADA where there's going to be thousands of dealers so that some magic could happen. I had to put myself in a position where opportunities could come at me. You see, sometimes when life changes, we make a change or we make a decision or there's things that are scary, we bunker down, right? We like bunker down. We kind of, we pull ourselves in. We let fear settle in, right? The fear of the change. We let it hold us back. We don't want to go out. We don't want to connect. We're kind of like in this funk. And I knew I couldn't have that. I knew that I had to put myself around opportunities, because when you put yourself in a position, opportunities, magic can happen. And it did. When I went out there, I got tons of different offers and tons of different connections. And everyone then knew that I was kind of free and people could start hiring me to come to their dealerships and to do different things in their stores and different opportunities to speak on stages, so on and so forth. All that came from just putting myself in the environment. So I challenge you to put yourself in environments where the magic can happen. We've got HGC3 is going to be coming up in April, man. It's going to be an incredible event. All the auto industry peeps are going to be converged. If you're in that industry, I suggest you're at HGC3. If you're not in auto industry, if there's something that you're doing with Thrive or one of these network marketing companies or something like that, where you can build your own business, then I suggest you go to those conferences. Put yourself in an environment where magic can happen. You never know. Show up here every single day on hashtag Rise and Grind. See what happens in your life. Show up. You must put yourself in a position. You see, you cannot bunker down. You must put yourself out there. The second thing that I did is I started really like pouring into the group, right? I started pouring into hashtag Rise and Grind. I started pouring into the planners. We started pouring into more gear, so on and so forth. Two that I want to share with you is pay attention to who is around in your world when everyone else isn't. You see, there are some crazy things that happened after I left. I had built this amazing community at the dealership and I felt like they were all family members. But there's something that happens, and when I left, regretfully, all of those connections, I mean, we're fine now, but regretfully, all of those connections kind of dissolved. It was like, it was a new thing for everyone. We weren't spending all that time together. I didn't see them every day, and so a lot of those relationships dissolved, and so I had to learn to pay attention who was around when everyone else isn't. You see, Michael Kerrigan, my man Michael, I was talking about him yesterday on Facebook. Michael was around when everyone else wasn't. Michael was one of the first people that was like, hey, what are we doing? How can I help? How can I serve you? How can I help you build Rise and Grind? And now here he is. You know, he built this website that I'm sending you to right now, the riseandgrindplanner.com. He built the different things on our website. He built all kinds of different things. He's just served me as much as he can. Right? He's just served me as much as he can. And then, of course, my wife has been around. And then there's people like my man, Josh O., who's been a supporter. He's been right here with me through everything. And then, of course, you've got like Lisa Copeland, Danelle Delgado, Brian Benstock, people like that who have been around through it all. And then, you know, Liza Myers-Borges, Scott Simons, the whole team over at Carter Myers Automotive. You want to really pay attention to who is around when everyone else isn't. Because see, when you're rocking and rolling, you're at the top, when you're the king and you're winning, you're surrounded by everybody, right? Like at Dan Cummins, when I was there, I got calls every single day. I got messages every single day. There were people wanting to hang out with me, people wanting to come to my house. Like I was surrounded. And then after I left, it got a little desolate. There was a tight-knit group of people who were still there for me every single day. So pay attention. Those people have been the most important people in my life for the last 12 months. They've been the most crucial people in my life for the last 12 months. They've been my rocks when times have gotten hard or rocky or I've had second thoughts or second guesses. They've been there. Pay attention to the people that are around you when everyone else isn't. So then I started speaking, right? I started kind of traveling around, speaking on these different stages, so on and so forth, traveling to different dealerships and popping in and doing single day, in-store, in dealership for a day, having those types of things, speaking on stage for a day, sharing opportunities with people for a day. And I learned lesson 3. Lesson 3, if you're taking notes, people are easy to inspire, but they still lack true desire. I see you, Michael Gazdick, is what Michael Anthony Johnson says, and Ray Hatcher's up in here. People are easy to inspire, but still lack true desire. See, without a level of accountability, people don't really change. If you don't have people holding you accountable in your life, it will be very difficult for you to change. Right? Like the people that are going through the 75 hard, the reason they've had so much success with 75 hard is they not only held themselves accountable, but they had people that held them accountable. They had to post every single day that they did their 2 workouts. They had to post a picture, so on and so forth. That accountability is what got them through. See, I realized when I was just popping into store for a day that I'd get good results for a few weeks, and then I'd check back a month later and they'd be doing okay. I'd check back 2 months later, they'd forgotten everything that we taught them because there was no accountability. That's actually why I put together the 800% Club the way that I did, so that we can hold dealers accountable week in and week out. Without accountability, you got nothing. So it's really easy to inspire people, but people still lack that true desire. We have to hold them accountable. So if you have a team or you have a staff or anything that you're building or you're growing, I highly suggest that you're in a position where you're holding your people accountable week in and week out to specific metrics that you want to see, the results that you want to acquire. If you're trying to make change in your life, make sure you create a position, make sure you create a situation where you are holding yourself accountable and other people are holding you accountable as well. It's so incredibly important. So then I was like gone a lot. I was like gone a lot from the house. I was traveling all over the place, right? I was traveling dealership. I was popping in, doing all these different things, traveling around the world, speaking, so on and so forth. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. Because my family wasn't getting a fair shake, right? Like I left so that I could spend more time with the family. I didn't leave the dealership so I could be all over the place and not spend time with them. They weren't getting a fair shake. So lesson 4 for you this morning, I'm kind of rushing through these because I want to make sure to finish in time. Lesson 4 is be careful what you wish for and make sure that your gratitude and goals are aligned. You see, the things that I was thankful for was my family and time with my family. However, my goals were to get another dealership that I could go visit or to go get another stage that I could go speak on. So my gratitude and my goals were not aligned. I was actually not creating what I said in that video where I needed more time with my family, more time to throw footballs, more time to swing golf clubs. I wasn't creating that because my goals were financial, but my gratitude and my joy is spent at home. So I had to make that shift, and I have made that shift. I've made that shift where we're doing more things through video, we're doing more things through technology, we're creating a life where I get to spend more time with my family, which was the ultimate number one reason I left Dan Cummins. Can't lose sight of that. So I want to make sure that you are careful. Be careful what you wish for. Make sure that your gratitude and your goals line up because you're going to get what you focused on. So make sure that lines up with what brings you true joy. All right. So then, of course, you know, in making amazing connections throughout this whole experience, doing incredible things, time with God and time with family. Through all of that, I realized number 5, and it's this. Creating your own business is so hard. It's one of the hardest things I've ever done in my entire life. I thoroughly respect owners, business owners. I thoroughly respect business owners and what they do, the way they lay it on the line, the liability that comes with it, the lives that are affected by their decisions. I have so much respect for owners. And so I'm here to tell you, if there is an owner around you, if there is a business around you that you can get locked in, a business that you can get locked in and make your way to the top and climb through the ranks and grow and progress, and you love work every single day and you're passionate about what you do, if you can find that without having to own your own business, do it, bro. I'm serious. Do it. However, On the other side of that, if you are not enjoying every single day of your life, if you are not enjoying every single day at work, don't be wrong, some days are stressful, some days are character building, but ultimately, if you do not enjoy the place that you are in, if you do not enjoy the place where you spend the majority of your time, then I'm here to tell you, you're not really living. You are selling yourself short. You will run out of time and you will regret the decisions that you make in your life. Listen. I could have stayed. I could have stayed right where I was. I could have stayed there for the rest of my life and for the rest of my career. I could have. But I would have had to sacrifice my family. I would have had to sacrifice the things that brought me joy in order to do so. Do not stay where you are if it sinks your heart. Do not stay where you are if it brings you down. Find a company that you can work for that brings you joy. If you can't find one, then create one. However, I highly suggest find someone. They exist out there. The Carter Myers Automotive Group is an incredible place to work. Dan Cummins Chevrolet and Buick is an incredible place to work. I have friends that I introduce you to, Judge Graham, Lisa Copeland, Danelle Delgado, all of these people. They have opportunities where you can grow within their companies. Matt Monero, who was just on my show, Elena Cardone, the Cardone Group. There are amazing organizations where you can grow, you can find joy every day, you can achieve financial success, you can do all of those things. Find one. If you're not in one, if you're dreading work today, if it is absolutely miserable for you to go in, I am telling you right now, you are not living the life that you were designed to live. Because see, you, my friend, are a child of God, the God of the universe, the God who made everything, made you to be the absolute best version of yourself that you can possibly be. And you cannot be the best version of self if there is not joy in your heart. You can't. And you are doing people a disservice, because they're, like Danelle says all the time, there are people who lose if you don't win. I need you to win. And every decision that you make, seemingly small or not, makes an impact. It makes an impact on your friends, on your family members, on your coworkers, and clearly, it's made an impact on me. You've completely changed my life. And I, for one, absolutely stinking love you for it. I do. Thank you so very much. Listen, hop out of here. Go to riseandgrindplanner.com. Just go right now before your day gets crazy and hectic and you start all over the place and you like forget what you were supposed to do. Just go to riseandgrindplanner.com right now, because I need your quotes. I need your Bible verses. I need to put together 2020 planner. It's part of my agenda. I'm trying to stay on task. I'm trying to stay ahead of the game so that we can launch these incredible things on Black Friday. So go there now, give me your quote, give me your Bible verse, go ahead and pre-order your planner if you want, save 20%. Go ahead and pre-order your planner right now for next year. And then do me a favor, if you need more videos like this, go to glennlundy.com. If you need some Rise and Grind gear, go to glennlundy.com. But most importantly, do me a favor, come back here again tomorrow morning, 5:30 a.m. We're going to do this all over again on hashtag Rise and Grind. Have a great day.
Good morning. On my feet before the sunrise. Stepped into my greatness, feeling powerful and energized. Thankful to be alive. Hashtag blessed. Write my mission, vision, values, and my gratitude list. I'm building up momentum. I'm making good decisions. I rise, I grind, I get it. Ain't no doubt that I'm committed. Cause who really loses if I don't win? Can't cheat the grind, only get what you put in. So I'm mastering my mentals. I'm focused on my physical. I'm developing spiritually and manifesting miracles. I'm gonna get it started, have a party in the morning, and I'ma wake the world is so alarming. I hashtag rise and grind, hashtag rise and grind.